Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a good time with your family and friends and liking these sessions. In today's video, I'm here to discuss what option as an organization you have to discover and assess your environment before you actually migrate this to Azure. Now, the reason I want to take some time because is the biggest decision any company going to make in their digital transformation is whether they want to utilize cloud or not, and each and every step should be minutely discussed and understood before they took the actual plunge. So with that, let me show you what options which Microsoft unlocks within Azure Migrate and Modernize option. So starting with the first one is discovery and assessment through Azure Migrate appliance. This is the most popular option and it has been there, and we have utilized this for many of our customers. This is a two-in-one solution. So basically, it not only will discover and assess, but also you can utilize this appliance to migrate also. That's point number one. Secondly, it's infrastructure agnostic. So whether you're running Hyper-V, VMware, physical servers, or even some other hypervisor, for example, AHV or from Citrix, it does not matter. You can go and utilize this service in order to discover your environment as well as assess your environment. Now, thirdly, it will also give you the option of not only lift and shift, but also modernize. So let's say, for example, if you're running a web server on a physical or on a virtualized environment, it also can give you an option of utilizing maybe an app service, or you want to utilize a SQL database and you move that to an Azure SQL database as a service. You can also have that option too. And another important thing is that it takes into consideration the performance based metrics. So it will try to understand your environment. It will see what are the highs and lows during certain time, because you can configure this environment and let it run. So based on the performance of that particular machine or that particular server, it will make recommendation what should be the right node and right size that you should be moved to Azure. But one thing which is you need to keep in mind is that it will require connectivity to Azure. So it will require connectivity to an Azure endpoint. But along with this, if you want, so certain organizations which are security sensitive, you can also enable this over a site-to-site VPN or over an express route. And this will require a private endpoint. So a little bit more secure, but even though if it's connected over Azure, it's only the metadata we are talking about. But in certain cases, a lot of organizations, they also don't want to even do that. But these are some of the options which are there, and certain points that you need to keep in mind. But Azure Migrate Appliance is very popular. A lot of companies utilize this to discover and assess their environment. That's option number one. Second option, which is relatively new, I will say, is Migrate Collector option. Now, in this case, you don't need to deploy any appliance. This is a command line utility which you can run both on Windows as well as Linux machine. So it's a set of a PowerShell script that you can run. And by the way, you can download this from the GitHub repository. And this will discover your environment, analyze your environment, and give you the option very similar to the first one, both for lift and shift and modernize. and make recommendation based on the performance. It can be, it is utilized in offline kind of connectivity, so you don't need any connectivity to Azure. So basically, once you run this, a zip file will be created, which you can upload to the Azure project, and it will make recommendation along with the discovery. So companies which don't want to open up that to Azure just for the discovery and assessment purposes, they can utilize Migrate Collector. And again, you don't need to deploy any appliance. It's a set of basically a script that you can run. But this is also an option that a lot of company can utilize. Uh, let's talk about the third option, which is upload of a CSV file or utilizing, let's say, an RV tool, and then uploading that particular file in the Azure project. Now, this option is good for lift and shift. By the way, like RV tool is a tool that you can utilize in VMware. You can kind of gather the information from the vCenter and upload that particular file in the Azure project. But this will give you option of lift and shift. It does not give you any performance-based assessment. So it's limited in terms of that. And also when it comes to dependency analysis, which typically you get in options such as Azure Migrate Appliance, those things are not there in the upload of CSV or RV tool. But if you want to quickly run this, you can do that. And obviously, this does not require any connectivity to Azure. You don't need to open up any ports or anything. This is totally no connection required to Azure, right? So that's also one option if somebody does not want to go through the whole process of deploying appliance and going through the drill. They can quickly do this also and analyze the environment, obviously with some limitation, and run the assessment report and discover their resources. Obviously, it does not give any information of dependency analysis as I mentioned. But there is also a new option which is in preview, what you call arc based discovery. It's in preview, so it has some limitation. So what is this option? So as you know, Arc is a service within Microsoft Azure. So let's say that you have multiple sites. You have certain resources in Azure, certain in, let's say, third-party cloud or even on-premises. You want to bring these resources into Azure, apply the policies and everything. You can deploy something what you call connected machine agent. By this way, it becomes an Azure resource and very similar to any Azure native uh, resource. You want to apply policies, apply update management, apply security. All those things can be done. Now, in the context of Arc based discovery for Migrate and Modernize, make sure that this agent is or newer. That's one thing. Other thing is there are certain resource provider you need to register. One of them is it's Microsoft dot off Azure, and I will show you on the portal where you can go and do that. And other one is Microsoft dot migrate. So these two needs to be. There is also one more agent which is optional. You can go and deploy what you call collector VM extension that you can push on these Arc based machine. If you do that, that will also give you utility metrics, which can be even more handy or will give you even more, I will say, detailed assessment report that you can go generate. Now, by the way, when you go and create this service, by default, it will create a business report for you in 1 hour. But you can also create a customized report if you want. Very similar to the way you create a report, let's say by utilizing an appliance, you have this option of creating a customized report. But this is something new which was not there before. So you, let's say there is a company which has resources sitting on premises and they have enabled connected machine agent slash arc agent on that. Then you can utilize this option also to discover and assess your environment and present it to the leadership team, and then they can take the decision if they want to move to the next steps, basically. Right. So these are four options you have as an organization if you are thinking of discovering and assessing your environment, or you have this future plan of moving your resources to cloud, or even a hybrid kind of deployment can be looked into this. So with that, let me flip over to the Azure portal to show you at least the fourth option, which is in preview, because I've already created detailed videos on the migration appliance, deployment, all those things that you can go and check on my channel. So with that, I'm logged on to the Azure portal. And first thing, you need to create a project for this services in preview. For that, you can go to the Azure Arc portal, and then you can see that under migration, you have this savings and readiness preview. Actually, before I do that, let me show you the prerequisite that you need to have, which means that you need to have those resource providers registered. And let me go inside. So you can see Microsoft.migrate is already registered. That's good. And the second one is of Azure. So that's also, so make sure that in case you want to utilize this option, both these are registered. With that, I'll go back to my Arc management console. And then you can go and select the saving and readiness. And very similar to the way you're going to go and deploy that with an appliance, you need to create a project. Creating a project is pretty straightforward. You will fill up some basic information like giving the name, subscription, resource group, region, and the scope of this. You can also sync the tags. Basically, let's say it's on premises, which data center, which city, all the tags that you have created, and what is the target location, right? Which target region you want to utilize. You can do that. So after you have created the project, like for example, in my case, I've already created one with the name arc test. It will automatically create a business case for you, right? But if you want, you can also go and create your customized report. You can start by giving the name here you want, right? You can add your workloads. And then you can also fill up certain journal as well as advanced features. So for example, if you want to, in the assessment report, include any specific set of machines, what kind of storage you want. Do you want to assess this environment based on a hybrid benefit, or with compare what that to a reservation or saving plan? All these options going to be there for you. But this is something new, this fourth option, which I thought maybe I will also include along with all the other three which were already there. But at least this gives you an idea about, as an organization, structured steps you can take as an organization and what tools are available for you in order to help you in your journey. Hopefully, this was helpful. Thanks for watching and have a good day.